10 amazing games that I will never play. Let's get right into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Clayton, and first things first, I just want to put a disclaimer out there. I have not played any of these games, so I don't know exactly how amazing they are, but I have heard amazing things about all these games, but they just don't interest me at all, either because of the runtime is too long, the theme, the mechanics, whatever it is. These games just don't seem to fit my playstyle right now. Now, if any of these games are your favorite games, I do apologize. This video is not meant to hate on any game. It's just a video that I thought would be fun to do because there are tons of amazing games out there and not everyone can play all of them. And these 10 games, I'm probably never going to play. With that being said, let's jump into number 10, which is a game that has the highest crowdfunding for board games on Kickstarter, and that is Frosthaven. Just an absolute giant box with too much content that I probably will never finish and get through. And I don't have a regular occurring campaign group that has time to dedicate that much time to one single game. I am honestly still playing through Gloomhaven, and I'm playing through that online on my own time, and I barely have enough time to even play that. So when it comes to Frosthaven, too much content, not enough time, not interested in playing it at all, but it definitely looks amazing. Now, before continuing with this video, I just gotta give a shout out to Into the AM, who's not sponsoring this video, but they do have a 10% discount link that you guys can use on their website if you guys are interested in any of their graphic t-shirts, which is one that I'm wearing right now. They have a lot of cool designs. They also have a membership, which will help save you 40% and get a free t-shirt design every single month. I really do love all the designs. They're very unique and I love the fit. They feel really nice on my skin. The shirts are not too tight at all. If that sounds interesting to you, check out that link down below, and you'll also be supporting this channel because I do get a bit of a kickback if you use my link. Now let's continue with the video. Now next up, I have a game by Awaken Realms. Now this game looks absolutely stunning and it looks like it'd be a lot of fun to play, but based off of reviews, I don't think this is my style of game, and I'm talking about Lords of Ragnarok. Now this is a Norse mythology game, which I am a fan of. I love Norse mythology and Greek mythology, but based off of all the playthroughs that I've seen, the game seems too clunky and it seems like everyone's always fighting to the same path of victory to win. You will control armies, build different statues, fight monsters and other players, and try to control the most amount of certain areas on the game board. Fantastic looking game, but the gameplay just looks okay and I'd rather play something else. Moving on, I know a lot of people really love this game, but for me it doesn't really work. I'm not the biggest fan of long skirmish games, and I'm talking about Root. Now at first glance, this game seems like it's really cute and be a lot of fun to play with all those little animal meeples, but in reality this is a fight to the death in a sense, to compete over different areas, and each faction in the game has their very own unique set of rules and abilities. And that is the reason why I'm kind of turned away from this game, is because it would take so long for me to learn the game and to teach to other players. For me, I am the person that sets up game night for most of the time when I get to play games, and I have no way of teaching this game if I have to learn every single faction and play through them and explain how each one works to newer players. Now, I have seen several gameplay videos of Root. I've seen multiple different expansions that can change the gameplay and the experience for the game, and I've heard so much hype around it, but honestly, this is a strategic skirmish game at the end of the day, and if you're not into those like me, then this is definitely not a game for you. Let me know what you guys think of Root in the comment section down below. Have you played it? Did you enjoy it? What expansions can make the game better? Now moving on, Stonemaier. Stonemaier Games makes some really good games in my opinion. Some of them are hit or misses for me. Most of them have been hits. I really love Wingspan, Scythe. Apiary, one of the latest games, was also really fun to play.
But when Pendulum was released, it was just a miss for me.
Play happens simultaneously as players move their workers around on the game board to gather resources and achieve different goals. The sand timers determine where you can place your workers at any given time. Each character in the game that you can play as will start with their own different set of cards and resources, and you must move up on 3 different tracks on your player board. The whole goal of the game is to focus on different actions that will help you move up on those tracks. Now, Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of real-time games. I am a big fan of worker placement games, and this game does have beautiful artwork, but from what I can tell, I don't think I would enjoy this game at all. There's too much chaos going on with each player trying to move around on the board simultaneously, and I'm just not a fan of that. Now, I know there is a mode where you can play without the sand timers, without putting the game in real time, but honestly, I feel like that is how this game was designed to be played, and for that reason, I have no interest in playing it. Plus, I haven't heard too many good things that it's like a must-play game. So for me, that Stonemaier game is a miss. Now, for this next game, it's probably the only game on this list that I might actually play at some point. Maybe, but probably not likely because I'm not the biggest fan of war games, and that is War of the Ring 2nd Edition. Now, the main reason why I probably will never play this game is because of the amount of time it takes to set up and take down, and because of the long playtime. Roughly, this game, I believe, takes 3 hours or so. One team is going to be playing as the Free Folk, the Fellowship of the Ring, trying to bring the ring to Mount Doom, and the other team is going to be playing as the Shadow Army that Sauron kind of controls,
Trying to take over different cities, and the first team to achieve their winning condition will win the game. And I just don't know, but there's nothing that just pulls me into this game to want to give it a try other than the IP.
Honestly, it definitely looks fun, especially if you're into War of the Rings. I do love War of the Rings. That's why I might give this one a try one day. There are other Lord of the Rings games out there, like the card game, that I definitely do want to give a try because, again, I'm a big fan of the IP. Huge Lord of the Rings fan, but this game just does not do it for me. Now, for this next game, I might get a lot of hate and people might think I'm crazy, but this game absolutely has no interest for me. I don't want to play it. I don't even want to learn it, and that is Blood on the Clock Tower. This is a bluffing game that 5 to 20 players can play in opposite teams, good versus evil. The game is overseen by a storyteller who conducts the actions and makes crucial decisions. The goal of the game is to successfully deduce and execute the demons before they outnumber the townfolk. So it's pretty much a bluffing social deduction game where one team is playing as townfolk and some other players are playing as demons, and someone's going to get murdered. Even when you die, I think you can still play in the game, but I don't know if it's as fun or not. I've seen gameplay, I've heard other people's reviews. There's some mixed reviews around it. Some people either really love it and other players seem to really hate it. For me, I'm not really interested in this at all. Just not a game for me. I'm not a huge fan into those types of role-playing social deduction games. But if you love it, I do want to know why in the comment section down below. It seems like it could be a really good game and could have a really good story. Now, for this next game, the main reason why I'm never going to play this game or even own it is because it's super expensive. Plus, I think it's more brutal than it needs to be, and that is Kingdom Death Monster. Now, I'm not a big fan when campaign games make you lose half your stuff because you die. I feel like you could just reset and try again, but when it comes to Kingdom Death, I'm not too sure what the rules are, but it does seem like it's very brutal and it's very hard to progress in the game. I like storytelling games that help you progress and maybe just have some penalties as you continue to play through it. Not games that punish you because you get a bad roll or you're just not enough experience, even though you played up to a certain point and you still lose. I'm all about experiences and finishing a game, and Kingdom Death Monster just doesn't seem like a game that I could finish. Plus, to get everything through this game is just super expensive and ridiculous. So I don't even want to stick my toe into the game at all, in fear for my wallet. Speaking about fearing for my wallet, for this next game, it's super popular right now. A lot of people seem to love it, and it's a trading card game. I'm talking about Disney Lorcana. I've had issues in the past with trading card games. The thing with trading card games to me has always been down to who has the most amount of money to get the better deck of cards. I've played Magic the Gathering, I've played Pokemon, I've played Hearthstone, I even played Keyforge, which I was more of a fan of because that is a trading card game where the deck of cards you buy is the cards you have to stick with. You can't trade with somebody else. The cards seem like they're way more balanced when you have a deck of cards, and it's more based off of skill than who has the better cards. But with Disney Lorcana, it's still somewhat a trading card game where you can still mix and match your own deck of cards. meaning if you can get a good card by spending a lot of money, then the chances of you winning is more likely, which I'm just not a fan of that model. I can use that money and spend it on more board games or other things that I need in my life, not more trading card games. So I'm just gonna stay away from it. Alright, getting down to my last two games here. A ton of people seem to love these games, but I'm not going to spend the time it takes to learn them or play them. Starting off, we have Twilight Imperium 4. This game is supposed to take 6 to 8 hours to play. I will never play a board game that takes that long to play, in my opinion. I could get so many more games played in that amount of time. Now, I get a lot of people like 4X games, and I do understand that Twilight Imperium is probably a really good game. But that 6 to 8 hour playtime is just a complete turnoff for me to even want to open up the game and try learning it to play it. Maybe possibly at a convention where I can take breaks and go walk around, talk to different vendors, and then come back and play it more and more. But I cannot see myself sitting down and wasting a whole day playing one simple board game. Now that might make a lot of you mad, and I do apologize, but for my lifestyle and the type of gamer I am, that game just does not work for me. For that reason, Twilight Imperium 4, or any Twilight game, is going to be a miss for me. Now, for this last game on this list, it's definitely a beast of a game, and it's fairly new, and that is Aeon's Trespass Odyssey. This game looks absolutely insane. There are two parts of the game, one where you're exploring on a ship, discovering different tiles, and another one again where you're battling a boss. You get to go into a machine, giant machines fighting giant monsters, using god powers. The whole thing looks epic. Don't get me wrong, it definitely looks like an epic game. But the amount of rules and conflict rules that seem to be in the game, I'm just probably too scared to play it. And I just simply, again, don't have the time to learn it, even though it looks like an incredible game. It's definitely a heavier, complex game that I have no interest in trying to spend the time to learn it. I probably won't even play it. It just seems like it's too complicated. It's a type of game that you have to leave set up on your table and keep coming back to it to finish it off, which I can't do. I love playing board games. I love a lot of games, but when a game takes too long to play, or that you have to have it set up all the time to play it, it's just a no-go for me. And I think that's okay. That has been my top 10 amazing games that I'm never going to play. If you guys have a similar list, I would love to hear it in the comment section down below. If any of these games were your favorite games, let me know why in the comment section down below. Let me know if I'm missing out or not. Honestly, there's tons of great games. I'm okay with missing out on these 10. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.